My goodness, I had to set this live like, oh, maybe twice. It felt like 3 times. Felt like a bunch of times. I'm definitely gonna let this be like for replay folk. Let's see. Burner account. You did it. It's a little too bloop. Gang gang. What up? Let's see if we can adjust this. I would like to get the homeless car situation out of the way if possible, but I don't think it is. All right. I just have to do this mostly for myself because I said I would, and I wanted to do it, and now I'm a little bit outside of Sacramento, and once I get back into town, I have to get a bunch of shit done. So, oh, hello, Danny. I was worried you were still live. It kept saying you were live, but I was having trouble with my YouTubes. So, anyway, we're gonna get this done. If my laptop dies while I'm reading it, I think I figured out a backup on my funky phone. So we're just gonna do it. We're just gonna read. I'm not doing it in character or anything. This is serious. Although I do have a black piece of fabric. I was gonna drape over me like a judge, but we'll save that for another day. Lights, camera, hair and makeup. Let's go. All right. For those that are better learners, hearing things. Oh, this is really a heavy laptop. Nose glasses. I don't have them, but she did. All right. So this is primarily for people that want to hear what the judge had to say, and they're just not big on reading the fine print themselves, I guess. Or you can read along at home. Follow with your finger. All right. Oh, there was one more thing I wanted to say. I think there's a lot of golden little nuggets in both Danny and Scotty's dissolved TRO rulings, and I think there's a lot of nuggets in there for activists. Thank you, Kelly. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh, I think there goes the computer. I knew it was probably going to go any moment. That's okay. I wasted all the last battery downloading the bloody images. All right, so now I have to read this from my phone, and we'll all pray I can see it. No, you are canceled, Wesley. You're on a timeout. Cool, these downloaded onto my little broken phone out of order. That's fun. This is gonna be fun. That's great. That's great. You can't, there's nothing to see, Danny. All right, well, this was a lot easier the other night when I had it on like the big print. Me. Okay, there we go. Okay, yeah. All right. Unfortunately, what she said before with Moxon is not yet available. But anywho, here's her ruling. Nature of proceedings. Petition, civil harassment violence filed by petitioner on June 3rd, 2024, The following parties are present for the aforementioned proceeding: Scott Hochstetter, respondent; Jaden Wheeler, petitioner; Kendrick Likey, I don't know how to say that, Moxon, attorney for petitioner. The matter is called for hearing. The court conducted a 2-day evidentiary hearing on petitioner's request for a civil harassment restraining order. A temporary restraining order has been in place since June 3rd, 2024. Petitioner's request, in his memorandum of points and authorities, not in petition, for an order extending the restraining order to cover petitioner's counsel, was orally withdrawn at the start of the evidentiary hearing. As a preliminary note, various pieces of evidence on petitioner's exhibit list, generally relating to respondent's character, criminal cases in other states, and specific instances of conduct that did not involve petitioner, were excluded. The court's task, as it is explained to both parties at the start of the hearing, was to ascertain whether the elements of the CCP 527.6 have been established by clear and convincing evidence with regard to respondent's conduct towards petitioner. There were authentication problems. The court is mindful of Evidence Code Section 1101, which states that with certain exceptions, evidence of a person's character or a trait of his or her character, whether in the form of an opinion, evidence of reputation, or evidence of specific instances of his or her conduct, is inadmissible when offered to prove his or her conduct on a specific occasion. It also considers Evidence Code Section 352, which provides that the court, in its discretion, may exclude evidence if its probative value is substantially outweighed by the probability that its admission will A, necessitate undue consumption of time, or B, create substantial danger of undue prejudice or of confusing the issue. In making this ruling, the court considered the timely filed pleadings and declarations, video and documentary evidence, as well as the testimony of the witnesses, and the court's credibility as assessments thereon. Per Evidence Code Section 780, in considering the credibility of witnesses, the court may consider any matter that has any tendency in reason to prove or disprove the truthfulness of their testimony at the hearing, including, without limitation, demeanor while testifying and the manner in which a witness testifies. A statement made by a witness that is inconsistent with any part of his testimony at the hearing, the existence or non-existence of any fact testified to by a witness, and the existence or non-existence of bias, interest, or other motive. Over the course of the extensive hearing, the court had an ample opportunity to assess the credibility of both parties and third-party witnesses. Regarding credibility, the court notes that petitioner's testimony at the hearing was inconsistent with material statements he made under oath in his petition. For example, petitioner's pleadings stated that petitioner, quote, observed respondent in a dispute with a neighbor who was walking his dog through the campus. Respondent was tormenting the dog and refused the neighbor's request to cease. Petitioner approached but decided not to get involved because respondent seemed to be on drugs. Respondent then started yelling at petitioner regarding the dog. Respondent was angry and began stalking petitioner, who fled the area. Petitioner, I can't read that because it's blurry on the copy. It's quoting petitioner's words, though. At the hearing, however, petitioner testified that he only had briefly observed respondent interacting with someone walking a dog, heard respondent making barking noises, was not around for much, saw the man coming towards respondent, acknowledging that the man may have been advancing on respondent, left without getting involved, and said that respondent did not follow or pursue petitioner after that. Respondent testified credibly that when he encountered petitioner weeks later, he asked why petitioner had not intervened to assist him. There was no evidence whatsoever presented at the hearing to support petitioner's dramatic allegation that he had observed respondent, quote, tormenting, end quote, the dog. By way of further example, according to the petition, respondent, quote, tried to drive at me with his car, at me to scare me, inching towards me on the... He yelled at me and drove his car at where I was working and kept coming closer and closer, end quote. There was no allegation in the petition that respondent, quote, revved his engine, end quote, as if he were going to drive into petitioner or lurched the vehicle forward towards the petitioner, as petitioner testified during the hearing. There was no mention of any discussion about permits. There was no mention of the barrier or of any other people standing between respondent and petitioner. The court also notes that allegations in petitioner's June 27, 2024 declaration vary significantly from those in the June 3, 2024 petition. Those inconsistencies between petitioner's sworn testimony and the video and other evidence presented at trial, and between the petition and the petitioner's subsequent declaration, undermine the petitioner's testimony. Scratch that. Undermine petitioner's credibility. For the reasons discussed below, the court denies the request for the permanent restraining order under Code of Civil Procedure, Section 527.6. To grant a restraining order, these elements must be proved. 1. The petitioner must be a proper party. The petitioner must be a natural person, not an entity such as a corporation. The petitioner must be the one who was alleging harassment. This element was not met. Conduct about which a petitioner complains must be directed at a specific individual, that is, the petitioner, before the conduct may be considered to be actionable civil harassment. If the conduct is not directed towards the petitioner, but rather towards a group, organization, or location, then the petitioner may not be able to prove civil harassment. Petitioner works as a security officer of Scientology. He testified, and the video evidence confirms, he wears a uniform clearly identifying him as security. Per his testimony at the hearing and his June 27, 2024 memorandum in support of request for restraining order, petitioner's work includes, among other things, assisting visitors, working on event setups, observing the area in and around the church campus and surrounding buildings. He also coordinates with neighbors and the community, and particularly outside events, of which the church has many. Wheeler Declaration, Part 2, I think is what it says. Respondent is a self-identified protester who states he is strongly opposed to the Church of Scientology. He has maintained a presence at the Church of Scientology's headquarters, where he has been involved in various activities and events, and drives a van which says Scientology is a cult on the side. The primary disputed interactions between petitioner and respondent in this case center around whether or not petitioner and others, in their capacity as as uniformed security officers for the Church of Scientology, were appropriately limiting respondents' access to public streets and sidewalks in accordance with official permits and California law. The court finds that respondent's behavior towards petitioner was not directed towards petitioner as an individual, but rather as a uniformed security officer employed by and representing the Church of Scientology and charged with helping control access to public streets and sidewalks. Based on the evidence, the court finds that the respondent's conduct has been directed towards the Church of Scientology as an institution, not towards petitioner as an individual. Even if the court had found that petitioner is a proper party, the result would be the same, because other required elements have not been met as explained below. 2. To grant a civil harassment restraining order, the court must find by clear and convincing evidence that respondent committed harassment. Clear and convincing evidence is a very high standard of proof. It has been defined as proof that is highly probable that the facts are true. Petitioner has not met this standard. In this case, it is alleged that the harassment consisted of the following. 1. Petitioner alleges that respondent committed an act or acts of unlawful violence that served no legitimate purpose. Unlawful violence in any assault or battery or stalking as prohibited in Penal Code Section 646.9, but does not include self-defense or defense of others. The petition alleges respondent ran aggressively at petitioner, followed him twice. Respondent aggressively, quote, tried to drive at petitioner with his car to scare him, and, quote, inching towards, end quote, petitioner, and, quote, coming slowly closer and closer, end quote. The petition states petitioner was, quote, very upset, end quote, and, quote, very frightened, end quote, but, quote, not physically harmed, end quote. We'll get there. I can barely see it. With regard to the alleged van incident on May 31st, 2024, respondent testified credibly that he turned down the street in an effort to access the public roadway because he had seen other vehicles do the same and because he did not believe there was a valid permit in effect to close the street. Both parties witness Mr. Jimenez, I believe, Jimenez, and respondent testified there were other people standing between respondent's vehicle and a temporary barrier, and that petitioner was on the other side of that barrier. Both petitioner's witness and respondent testified that after a discussion lasting several minutes about whether there was in fact a valid street closed permit, both petitioner's witness and respondent testified that after a discussion lasting several minutes about whether there was, in fact, a valid street closure permit, others presented. Oh my God, I can't. Oh, I can do it. Others present suggested to respondent that he drive in a different direction, which he ultimately did. Actually, she says, and he ultimately did so. Respondent admitted announcing he intended to access the street, but testified credibly he never threatened implicitly or explicitly to run anyone over. With regard to the alleged van incident, the court notes that no corroborating video evidence was presented by petitioner. Petitioner admitted during his testimony there are surveillance cameras which cover the area in question, and he was unaware of any footage and had not made an effort to obtain any. Petitioner's witness also confirmed there are security cameras on the outside of the buildings in that area. The California Evidence Code permits the court to draw an adverse inference when better evidence is available but not presented. The court draws such an inference from the fact that existing surveillance video was apparently not sought out or presented at the hearing. Lack of video evidence to corroborate hotly disputed allegations also implicates petitioner's ability to meet the elevated burden of proof. There were many bystanders and witnesses to the parties' interactions, including security personnel. It is undisputed no one called the police. No evidence was provided as to why petitioner did not contact law enforcement, and one would expect him to have had the events. One would have expected him to had the events transpired in accordance with petitioner's version of events. Overall, considering the court's credibility assessments and the totality of circumstances established by the evidence, the court finds petitioner failed to establish by clear and convincing evidence that respondent committed an act of unlawful violence against petitioner. 2. Petitioner alleges that respondent made a credible threat of violence. A credible threat of violence is a knowing and willful statement or course of conduct that would place a reasonable person in fear of his or her life, safety, or the safety of his or her immediate family and served no legitimate purpose. It is not necessary to show that respondent intended to carry out the threat. Petitioner alleged that while he was, quote, working on a closed street, respondent approached me and invited me to fight with him, goaded me to fight with him, end quote. Video of this interaction taken by respondent and posted online was shown at trial, Petitioner's Exhibit N. It is clear that this video is intended for some sort of audience and the respondent's conduct is performative. Respondent testified credibly that the Exhibit N excerpt was edited, misleading, to omit an earlier interaction between respondent, petitioner, and several other security personnel about whether or not there was a valid street closure permit in effect and whether respondent was trespassing. The omitted interaction was approximately 40 seconds long. During the earlier interaction, respondent testified he had been surrounded by multiple security officers, including petitioner who, quote, got in his face, end quote, and accused of trespassing. This testimony was not effectively refuted. Petitioner's counsel did not dispute that the exhibit had been edited to remove the earlier interaction. Omission of this salient earlier interaction without clearly identifying the excerpt as edited raised credibility concerns about the petitioner's presentation in the court. In Exhibit N, petitioner is seen telling respondent he is, quote, trespassing, end quote. Respondent, who believes, correctly based on evidence, he is not trespassing because the permitted street closure had not yet begun, responds in an undeniably contentious and confrontational manner, which included without limitation the words, "Go fuck yourself." Oh, I'm sorry. I'll quote that correct. Let's get this right. "Go fuck off. Eat a cock. Go call the cops, you little fucking punk ass. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me. Touch me. I dare you to touch me, you punk ass little bitch, and you ain't hitting the pussy, you hitting the switch. Wonder why they call you bitch." Respondent testified this particular language was a reference to a Tupac song of that title. Petitioners I don't know how she did that. Okay, bye. Hold up. Let's just make sure my car's not dead or something. Okay, good. It's like the universe needed us to take a little break there. You want me to read it again? I will. Let's not get off track. No. Lights, camera, action. This, oh, by the way, this is performative. In Exhibit N, petitioner is telling respondent he is trespassing. Respondent, who believes correctly based on evidence he is not trespassing because the permitted street closure had not yet begun, responds in an undeniably contentious and confrontational manner, which included, without limitation, the words, "Go fuck off, eat a cock, go call the cops, you little fucking punk ass, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me, touch me. I dare you to touch me, you punk ass little bitch. And you ain't hitting the pussy, you hitting the switch. Wonder why they call you bitch. Respondent testified this particular language was in reference to a Tupac song of that title. Petitioner characterized these words as fighting words and or threats. The court disagrees. Respondent has adopted the persona of a boundary-testing godfly. His words are and are clearly intended to be rude and obnoxious. In this context, however, the court does not find that they are inherently likely to provoke an immediate violent reaction or words that, quote, would place a reasonable person in fear of his or her safety, end quote. Within such statements, promptly disavowed them and subsequently ceased. Did I do that right? Hold on, I got a few people circling me. It's kind of creepy. Move along. Funny enough, they're on bikes, and I'm having like blue flashbacks. I skipped a chunk. In this context, however, the court does not find they are inherently likely to provoke an immediate threat, violent reaction, or words. There we go. That would place a reasonable person in fear of his or her safety within the meaning of CCP 527.6. The court also excluded evidence of statements allegedly, on respondent's behalf. We're just going to go till everything's just dead. It's going to buffalo. Let me try for batteries here. Technology is difficult enough when I have electric outlets. You guys want me to read it again? I'll just real quick. You ain't hitting the pussy, you hitting the switch. Wonder why they call you bitch. All right, then she goes on. The court also excluded evidence of statements allegedly made by a third party on respondent's live chat that respondent discussed online. The law requires petitioner to prove by clear and convincing evidence that respondent engaged in prohibited harassment. There was an insufficient legal or factual basis presented on which the court might impute statements of a third party to respondent and issue a restraining order against respondent based on imputed third-party statements. Respondent testified credibly that he did not adopt any such statements, promptly disavowed them, and subsequently ceased contact with the third party. Number 3, petitioner alleges that respondent engaged in a prohibited course of conduct against him. Under this theory, these elements must be proven. A, there was a course of conduct against the petitioner that seriously alarms, annoys, or harasses the petitioner. A course of conduct is a pattern of conduct composed of a series of acts over a period of time, however short, evidencing a continuity of purpose. I need water. It includes following or stalking an individual, making harassing telephone calls, or sending harassing correspondence by any means, including mail, fax, or email. This element was not met. Respondent's conduct does not include following or stalking petitioner. Respondent's conduct does not evidence any continuity of purpose against petitioner as an individual. Respondent's conduct does reflect a continuity of purpose in demonstrating publicly against the Church of Scientology in the area surrounding its symbolic headquarters. Even if the court were to find a course of conduct by the respondent against petitioner individually, the outcome would not be different because all required course of conduct related elements have not been met. For example, it would be the petitioner's burden to establish that respondent's conduct is not constitutionally protected. This element was not met. Per CCP 527.6, sub B1, constitutionally protected activity is not included within the meaning of course of conduct. See Thomas versus Quintero, 2005, 126 Cal, App 4th, 635663. Even if petitioner had been seriously alarmed, annoyed, or harassed by respondent's conduct, a public demonstration at petitioner's church protesting petitioner's eviction of respondent, there was no showing that respondent's injurious actions were part of a, quote, course of conduct within the meaning of the section 527.6 because the conduct constituted a form of protected speech. The court cannot improperly take away a respondent's constitutional rights via a civil harassment restraining order. Whether parties like it or not, whether they agree with it or not, all enjoy certain constitutional rights, including free speech. Respondent testified credibly about what he was protesting and why. To the extent relevant, he testified credibly to the effect of any statements he made characterizing himself as a, quote, paid actor, were satirical references to allegations in recent years about George Soros paying attendees at political rallies. Respondent testified credibly that on the dates in question, he observed security personnel, including petitioner, allowing other community members access to streets and sidewalks without accusing them of trespassing. Petitioner admitted this. Respondent testified credibly that he had tickets to both the March 31st and May 31st events, and that he was not asked on either occasion about whether he did. Respondent admitted he never asked Petitioner admitted he never asked respondent about whether he had a ticket. No legal authority was provided in support of petitioner's implied arguments that someone who live streams, who receives payments or donations for protest-related activity, or whose activities are theatrical or performative in nature, somehow loses their First Amendment protection. No legal authority was provided in support of petitioner's implied argument that the court might properly base a ruling on its own determination as to whether a self-identified protester self-identified protesters' motives and beliefs are sufficiently substantive. Whoa, I can't, these are blurry. Sufficiently substantive? It's either a typo or it's just too blurry for me to read it. Substantive. That sounds weird. Moving on. Or genuine to warrant free speech protection. It seems to this court that such an assessment would be the kind of content-based government overreach our First Amendment jurisprudence is designed to preclude. No, I'm gonna reread that because that word. Anybody know what the hell word that is? Maybe it's a typo and maybe I'm illiterate. Probably both. I can't. It's so blurry though. Substantive. I'm gonna skip it while I redo it. No legal authority was provided in support of petitioners' implied arguments that someone who live streams, who receives payments or donations for protest-related activity, or whose activities are theatrical or performative in nature, somehow loses their First Amendment protection. No legal authority was provided in support of petitioners' implied arguments that the court might properly base a ruling on its own determination as to whether a self-identified protester's motives and beliefs are sufficiently, I'm going to go with substantiated, but I don't know, or genuine to warrant free speech protection. It's a legitimate word. Substantive. Oh gosh. The more you say it, the worse it gets. All right. Anyway, y'all get that? She's getting into the free speech here. It seems to this court that such an assessment would be the kind of content-based governmental overreach our First Amendment jurisprudence is designed to preclude. It would also be petitioner's burden to establish that respondents' course of conduct would cause a reasonable person to suffer substantial emotional distress. Substantial emotional distress results from conduct that is socially unacceptable and outrageous. Such distress is not mild or brief. It is so substantial or long-lasting, last page, allegedly. Hang out on the edge of your seat. So long lasting. Bloody. Wait for it. No reasonable party in a civilized society should be expected to bear it. This element was not met. I'd like to reread that, but I can't. Very important, though. Petitioner is employed as a security officer for the Church of Scientology, whose duties expressly include interfacing with community members surrounding events which involve street closures pursuant to permits. Under the totality of the circumstances here, the discomfort, disgust, or upset engendered in petitioner, a security officer, based on interactions with a member of the public whom he does not know in a public space about access to a public space, is insufficiently substantial and long-lasting and does not rise to the level of substantial emotional distress contemplated by CCP. It would also be petitioner's burden to establish that the conduct caused petitioner himself to suffer substantial emotional distress as defined in the CCP. This element has not been met. Petitioner testified credibly he was very, very fearful of respondent and was made deeply uncomfortable by words respondent used, which he took as challenges to petitioner's sexuality, which were belittling and which included profanity. He testified credibly that respondent's comments made him feel, quote, disgusted, end quote, and, quote, super gross. Petitioner's supervisor and close friend, who as such was not an impartial witness, testified that petitioner raised unprompted concerns about interactions with respondent, appeared withdrawn, and began smoking more. Even taking at face value, however, the distress described by petitioner in his own words is not so substantial or long-lasting that no reasonable person in a civilized society should be expected to hear it. I might say bear it. I can't tell. Disgusted and super gross feelings, while challenging and unpleasant, do not rise to the level of sustained and profound distress contemplated by the statute. See Hansen v. Volkov, 2023, 96 Cal App 5th, 94106. Quote, the evidence was insufficient for a reasonable trier of fact to make the findings necessary to support the restraining order with the high probability demanded by the clear and convincing standard of proof. Here, Hansen testified only that she felt sick to her stomach and scared that Volkov would not leave when she received a text message that Volkov was at her office and felt scared that Volkov would not leave. Why don't we do it twice? That she was at her office and felt horrible once Volkov left because she had put others, her staff and her children, in the situation. That testimony was far from establishing that Volkov's conduct, however offensive or annoying it may have been, caused Hansen and an experienced family law attorney who presumably has litigated many cases with difficult opposing counsel to suffer intense, enduring, and non-trivial emotional distress. Hansen, an experienced family law attorney. Based on the foregoing analysis, everybody behaving? Great, thank you so much. We're getting through, we're almost done. Based on the I gotta go to bed. Based on the foregoing analysis, the court denies the requested restraining order. The temporary restraining order issued on June 3rd, 2024 is dissolved. Petitioner's oral request to stay the court's order to permit time for petitioner to file a writ and or motion for new trial is denied. I'll say it again. Petitioner's oral request to stay the court's order to permit time for petitioner to file a writ and or a motion for new trial is denied. Petitioner's oral request for time to file additional briefing is denied. think I'm parked next to somebody's like home area maybe, so I'm gonna just move because I think that I'm in their space. I can't open the windows, too loud. What's up, everybody? Questions, comments, concerns? Well, I don't care about your concerns. What are your questions? I'm not going home to get rest. I have to go home and help somebody. I'll probably be up most of the night. I think I need to get coffee. So they can appeal it. It would basically be denied, but they can't. So what that was in reference to, I think I'm gonna go ahead and make an assumption that was added after she wrote her original order. She added that to the one that was public because she was denying Moxon's bullshit requests the day of. I think that's, yeah, poor Moxon. If you'll remember, Timu Dodge talked about how before she even did a ruling, he brought up he wanted to do some post-trial blah, 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 evidence submitting, and she said, no, no, no. I believe this is the updated version, but I could be wrong. Oh no, she said you can appeal it, because at the end she said, Mr. Wheeler, if if you want to pursue this further or, challenge this motion or whatever, she said that was fancy legal talk. She said, you may speak to your lawyer about it. Then the lawyer started saying, but can I add it now? And she said, no, go away, go out, get out of my court. Do I think they're mad? You never know with them. They're so smug. I don't think they tap into feelings very often. I think what they experience as anger is probably like, we didn't want to win anyway. We just wanted to jerk them around in court, and we're going to do it again the second we get a chance. But I don't know. Her ruling makes it impossible. Well, her detailed ruling makes it impossible for them to be granted. They can put in an appeal, I believe, but they can't. I think she ripped up their whole case and laid it all out right there so anybody that's not paid off will not grant the appeal. I think that's what we can remember. Being the highly trained, highly skilled, completely unqualified, unlicensed attorney at law, that's my take on it. If you asked questions while I was chit-chatting to the folks here and you didn't get an answer, I might not be able to answer it, but point you in the right direction. You have a background in paralegal. That's not only. You got more than what I got. They are doctoring the video. They are showing the police. What? John, for those listening on the podcast, John Tompkins writes in and says, no question but a comment. They are doctoring the evidence they are showing the police, as this is a known tactic now. Jen is behind these lies. Moxon can't run YouTube program. Fact, Moxon can't YouTube. He learned a little, but he literally can't. It goes against his belief. Jen is behind these lies. Probably a fact. And then doctoring the evidence the videos they show police, in your opinion. Where's my book? Oh, I don't have it. I have a copy of 4 Agreements in here that's gonna fuck around with people and start reading quotes. Did I get it? God damn you. High C banditry. Everybody put it on public blast. If I get a parking ticket, High C's banditry is paying for it because they keep fucking up the flow, bringing it up. First of all, don't ask, don't tell, or something like that. And also, no, I didn't get a ticket, but I had to work really hard to block all the energy of people talking about it. You can keep saying that I'm manifesting it all you want, but I'm not the one. Well, you don't know how I roll or park. I'm not saying you're manifesting it. I'm saying by nature of making it a reality in a world that I'm making not a reality, you're paying for it. And now everybody sees that you are. Moxon likely making excuses that he can't catch a break when he's just inept. And yeah, I'm sure it's always going to be how it's. Well, let's think about it. They're probably saying that the legal system is, SP, filled with SPs. They're probably trying to come up with a new plan to infiltrate. They're probably like, let's actually send Jen and everybody else to law school. Timu Dodge, I had already done Danny's ruling. Kelly did that. That's me. Timu Dodge is put away in the costume box. Did you know in Cali you can pass the bar without going to law school if you wanted? I knew that. Did everybody else know that? Toxin is in the RPF, baby, powdering his chicken legs. Allegedly. The last sentence was a response to the request to keep the restraining order in place until the appeal is filed. That's what petitioners was requesting, that the judge's order be suspended. Oh, until he submitted his post-trial yada yada. Who's saying that? Janelle Art, were you there? Did I meet you? Or who told you that? The ruling, I keep calling it the post-trial blank because I keep forgetting what the word. I won't know till the transcript, I suppose. The ruling supports further exploration of the seemingly, allegedly, in my opinion, endless street closure. Yes, it does. That's what I mean. There's a lot of golden nuggets in there. Little bits she dropped, like positive for other. The fact that she cited a case of an actual attorney claiming harassment. When Moxon's fucking first words out of his face that morning were not "good morning, Your Honor." It was like, William Good said he owns me and I'm being harassed and assaulted and blah, blah, blah. So her already prepped and ready and having the citing in there, the case file of an attorney not meeting the burden of proof. It was pretty cool to me. That's what stands out, Holly. I just answered that one. I like the fact that she brings up the fact that somehow there's some allegation or whatever theory that that you can't be paid to do your thing, and then somehow you're less worthy of freedom of speech. Oh, you're welcome, Lore. Thanks for attending court so we can have the outcome. Also, if anybody watched my Timu Dodge, I did a part 2 that that's what happens. I process how I process. So I hung up the phone with everybody, internet phone, YouTube, and then I got back into Timu Dodge, and then I said what I said. So it's in the comments on the first part. I pinned it, or you can just find it. Chiara Zona. Super surreal. The cult doesn't want another embarrassment to go to court. Yeah, probably. Although, here's the other piece. I suspect all of the calls made also, no offense, DOA, don't take this personal, but I had a thought. I think it's a culmination of things. I think it's that it's very possible the judge made some calls because she was like, okay, I'm really done seeing this shit in my court and talking about it. So that's possible. It's also possible that all of the calls into the city and the officials, especially the Wednesday, Friday ones with the Bureau of Street Services and such, that may have had some heavy sway on things, especially because and this is why I said don't take this, no offense, DOA. They had their meeting today, and then Friday. Wait, no, what day is it? Who's on first? What's on second? Is it Tuesday? Never mind, I'm full of shit. I just had a thought maybe that they were like, oh God, they're going to call into our meeting again. Like, let's shut it down. But I think it's everything. I think it's that they're doing what they did at Celebrity Center or whatever. They're packing it up. They're hiding everybody. Last night we saw them. The fear that these, agitators are free to roam their street, their Ron Hubby street. Their new tactic is to just pack it up, which is good, but also a little frustrating because now we can't see what the fuck they're up to even more. But yeah, I think the Danny and DOA being released into the wild is it's what shut shit down for sure. Your father was paid to walk picket lines. Well, good for him. Good for him. Michael's live? On Michael's live. Oh, you're talking. Oh, wait. Oh, feel free to donate to Michael. Oh, wait. Oh, hi, Laura. Feel free to donate and support Michael for the $7,500 he paid for his lawyer fees. Did he say that somewhere? I missed it. Also, if he posted a link or something, I can put it. Oh. We got to figure out a way to put stuff better in the calendar. Somebody's got to get on that. Somebody really needs to handle the, yeah, and snappy and selfless. Somebody should really put those links in the calendar. A culmination of things. It was like a storm a brewing, and then the straw that broke the camel's back. DOA, you're like just a piece of straw. They blocked all the calls to any meetings today. What day is it? What meetings? I'm so behind being on the road. I've been on the road since like maybe 7:30. Oh, this lighting is, I'm so orange. I look like you know who. We all know who, except for, don't say it because I don't want it brought into chat. Oh gosh, I'm sure it's a word. I just don't hear it, use it, or can say it. Substantive. That's a awful word. Get rid of it. Bring back what was the word? Probative. Bring back probative. The union also paid for my father to do call centers for presidential campaigns. Oh, you're being serious? Yeah, hi. I got hired as a green whatever. What's that bullshit organization? Greenpeace canvasser. That was it. I didn't do it, but I got hired. Michael has a PayPal. You've been writing it's a tunnel boss too much. All right, good. Well, I'd post it in chat, but I don't do that. And it's all on his YouTube. Okay, cool. There we go. Well, I missed all of it. I always miss shit. That's what I do. His case was dropped yesterday. Huh? The fuck? Don't get info. Getting updates in a chat is just like very difficult. Kodak used Ford-era tactics to physically bully and harass union organizers. Kodak. Unions do pay strike payments to union members who are on picket lines. Ted ran for the hills. This is fun. This is where I just like reading chats. Some of that money amount was kind of sort of mentioned during Chris's live stream yesterday. Maybe in reference to Michael. I don't know. I was probably wandering on the other side of the building looking at whatever was happening because I, for whatever reason, was wandering a lot yesterday. He did a live a bit ago. Well, I'm behind the fucking times. Thank you for updating me, everybody. Physically bully. Correction to prior comment. My dad was president of local 482 IAM. I have old 8mm films of the pickets. Great black and white films. LOL. DOA is common for union. It's common for union to pay picketers, usually union members. So happy for Michael. Tuesday. This is fun. Michael's case was dropped? Question mark, question mark, question mark. Tuesday. Power Committee. City Council. On and on. The apparent construction in Big Blue, the hospital portion on the top floor using a large saw-type device after 8 violate the historical building, possibly add no permit annex inspection. That was a lot of smart words, or smart statements. Also the fact that they're covering up all the windows, they're putting up new curtains, all of that. They're really putting it on lockdown, making it more and more difficult. And as we all know, using the fucking tunnels. Pumpkin face, since noon. Ha, smiley face. That's great. Public Works. Fuck that word. Having a firm basis in reality and therefore important, meaningful, and considerable. We could just use other words. Hi, Kelly. Hi. Smiley face. Audit was out all day at meetings. Oh, good. She's a badass. The construction may be what is in the bottom 2/3 of the new planter box and may contain asbestos and lead, common materials in 1927 when building was built. Police commissioners meeting was open today. Hey to all my peeps from Audits Marathon today. One of the students in my class just told the professor, low key, I want to do crime analysis. Yeah, only crackhead Kenny. After you told Ted you read the permit and you can stay, they know they can't push invalid permit orders. It's a tunnel, boss. 100. Michael did a video. I came in right after. Substantive. I get a retirement from the union every month. He announced it tonight. Julie B, was Michael's case dropped? No one is saying his name. Say his name. Kenny, it's the tunnel boss. Kelly, if you've answered before, I missed it. Were you in OSA? No. I definitely wanted to fuck with you and say yes, but no. Substantive. Fuck that word. Substantive. Stupid. It's a legal term. This context, it refers to the quality of meeting the burden of proof in a substantial way. That's a great word. Substantial is a great word. Or stated differently, it's sufficient to meet that burden. Michael streamed earlier tonight. Everyone's info on it so far is what I saw as well. I didn't get the memo. Crackhead Kenny, I emailed Audit about the chat situation, so sorry that happened. She never blocks anyone. Michael's case was dropped. He still had to pay the $7,500 for his lawyer. Got it. Entiendo. Thank you. The lawyer got the case dropped. The lawyer did their job. Gang, gang. Holly, yes, Michael announced his case was dropped. 10 emoji. 10. I don't know. Hi, 10. Dreamscape. Thank you for making... Oh, at Dreamscape. Thank you for making a complete sentence. At Kelly. Sally sells seashells by the seashore. At Kara. I know she didn't. 100. Heart. At X. Hey. LOL. Henry. Labor laws is huge with unions, and a lot of case law is based on that. Amen. Try pronouncing it. Substantive. Substantive. That's, no offense, so that's a dumb word too. That's all dumb. And see if that feels better. That feels worse. That feels awful. It feels really, it goes against every part of my soul and being. At Kara Feeble. My fave. The next Sarah Cooper, smiley face. I'll go check her out at YBR. I agree the dirt in the planters came from the construction fill from the Scientology building. They couldn't just haul it out traditionally. People would question. Nobody is questioning now. Oh, yes, we are. And I got the dirt right there because it's a fucking tunnel, boss. It's in my bag. Congratulations, Michael. Sucks about still having to pay the lawyer that much money. Retracted message. Probably smart. You knew I was going to read it. Great news about Michael. Yes, Michael's case was dropped. He did a live earlier talking about it. He had a lawyer. It cost him $7,500. He said people have asking how much they can help, how they can help if they can help with that if they want to. Kelly, LMAOOO. Holly, it is the retainer amount from what the attorney already did. It's a tunnel, boss. 100. Whew. Andrew Filer. Am I caught up? Oh my God, I think I'm getting further and further behind. Shush. I'm committed now. Andrew Flyler is the attorney Michael used when they get when they get around to dumping those planters somewhere. They will be doing so illegally, as it should end up a hazmat dump, not a regular landfill. Substantive, still dumb word. No offense, I just don't like it. Thank you. No, thank you. I'm stuck in a porta potty again, and I'm so boring. Serge put it on his community page. Thank you, Amy. This is for everybody just listening at home on the podcast. You need a Black's Law dictionary. Is this the AMSR stuff? I think it's the opposite. Ha ha. And oh gosh, smiley face. Ha 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 ha. Ha ha. Substantive is how I'd say it. Substantive. Oh, crying. 31 timestamp about his win and cost is when Michael says. Thank you. In 31 mark on Michael's live. Yeah? LMMNOPQRS LMAO. Kelly, you make my heart happy. Thank you for bringing joy. You're welcome. On his last live. Thank you. You clarified. I'm LOLing. Kelly, I think you need to sleep. You think? Awesome sauce, Kelly. Kelly running on adrenaline. This is a... I need a cigarette after this. Woo! Okay. X. Smiley. At Kelly. Peter picked a peck of pickled peppers. That's not how we say it on the West Coast. We outside. I am entertained. Sentence. To be read. At DT, have any tater dogs today? Ha ha. Petition to change the street name to another felon, perhaps R. Kelly Way. Alien smiley face. David's niacin shorts. FYI, home asbestos tests are cheap. Try saying that 5 times fast. Home asbestos tests are cheap. Kit at Home Depot. You mail in a little sample. It's actually substantive. But who the fuck am I to correct anyone's grammar? Smiley. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious. LOL. Don't want to text anything. Afraid of Kelly's inflection on what I might say. Do I have to do it with an Italian accent and really get the part of the world pissed at me? Thank you, Kelly. I can take off my reading glasses. See, I'm here for the different learners and listeners. Thank you, Kelly. I can take my reading glasses off and just listen to chat. Our building was evacuated due to asbestos, some people say it, at YRB, 100%. Someone we knew took soil samples from said planters live. Got the receipts. Someone we did know, maybe others. They have oh, they have one deceased and several others overdosed at LA County Jail. X, ha ha. I still wonder if he figured out what tater tots are. With the with the with the emphasis on the first syllabus. I'm too high for this shit right now. I mean, I'm too high for this conversation. Smiley, 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 smiley face. It's okay if you mispronounce substantive. It means you won't be accused of being a lawyer, and that's not a bad thing. I just hate the word. Me too, Roxy. Great drug you're on. LOL. Richard Ramirez Road. I'm never catching up. I thought it was Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers. If Peter Piper picked a pack of pickled peppers, how many pickled peppers did Peter Piper pick? Thank you, Kelly. Safe travels. Miss you already. GTG heart. Search Del Mar. Hello. Michael's charges are all dropped. Another legal win for this community. That is citing a good source. That's a darn close enough source. I just found out via the chat. Thank goodness. Thank goodness. That's awesome. We're going to have to do like a reverse court calendar of all the wins. Oh, there it goes. It's all gone. There it is. Oh, wait. We're so close. We're getting, no. Smiley, smiley, smiley. 5 dubs. This is great. That's so awesome, Serge Del Mar. Serge, we're so happy for Michael's heart. Serge in the house. Oh, hold on. Actually, what's my Kane Sutton voice? Aren't you Australian or something? I'm not going to try it. Serge in the house. You skipped a line. It happens. Holly, I slit. A sheet. A sheet. I slit. Congratulations, Michael. Great news, Serge Del Mar. Holly, that's a hard one to say 10 times fast. We got to get Kelly sponsored by Audible. 4 wins in 1 week? We outside. Thank you, guys. Heart, heart. Yes, it is. Oh, at Hippie Chick, yes, it is. The law is on our side. Yes, it is. This time, oddly. W. Michael. Kelly, how do you say the word omnipotent? Surge, heart, heart, heart. W. Michael, big eyes emoji. Holly Lewis, that's how I was taught it. Surge, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt, lightning bolt. 10, heart. Watching Kelly read the chat on 1.75 is hilarious. Heart, 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 heart. Yay! I think maybe cops in city are coming around. Kelly on 2-speed is funny. Always a minion. I think these sorts of things were like a game of telephone across the country. Smiley face. That's awesome news. Kelly flexing tonight. Thank you for the rose. Smells good. Yum glizzy. Smiley face. Laughing emoji. Heart, 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 heart. At Serge Del Mar, congrats for Michael's win. At Serge Del Mar, rainbow, 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 heart. At Nanya Business, so funny. At Dastardly Saboteur, laughing emoji. Congrats to Michael. Party, party, celebrate. We outside. Hashtag it. I fear this is going to go on all night, Kelly. At Serge. 100. Toy boat, toy boat, toy boat, toy boat. Congratulations, Michael and Serge. Tot. The whole city court rejects you, Scientology. Laughing, 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 emoji face. Oh my, OMG. This is great. Scooter. Not Glizzy. Laughing, laughing, laughing face. Matt. Chinchillas for everyone. Laughing emoji, laughing emoji, laughing emoji. Game over, game over, game over, game over, game over, game over, game over. We outside. Gang, gang. F sign toe. Peace out. I gotta go get more coffee. Oh my God. My shoulder hurts. All right, thanks so much. Oh my God, people, you have to back and watch it at 2 speed. Hope they don't. Nobody has to. Don't give people ideas. Oh, and I look so adorable. It's the lighting. Yeah, I did. She did it. Woohoo! She caught up. Peace sign. Wolfgang, what up? Peace sign. Peace sign. Peace sign. Yeah, thanks for letting me get a little ridiculous. My goddess, I'm like I look like an alien in this lighting. It's awful. My lighting crew is fired. Scooter. I'm done. I said I was done. I got caught up and now I'm done. You've never enjoyed a live stream so much ever in your life? I'm going to believe that's true. It makes me feel good. That was fun, wasn't it? The dreaded orange clown. Kinda, yeah. We got to get our lighting set up for this mobile studio. Listen, everybody, it was great. I'm really going to process the Michael news. That's a big fucking deal. That's awesome. And that's why you pay for good lawyers and attorneys. Good ones. That's fucking awesome. I kind of had I didn't want to, jinx it, but I wanted to say he's not on the court calendar. Let's keep it that way. So, oh gosh, Kelly, did you watch the DOA sassafras stream? No. Was it today? No. Not that I'm aware of. Oh God, what did I miss? My phone's been funky monkey. You're probably actually getting potato quality right now that I didn't even I forgot to ask how's the quality. I gotta call T-Mobile and say, why the potato? Suddenly Susan sat sifting sacks softly, swinging Sunday. What, we should do that before I have to read 7 pages. I needed the vocal warm-up beforehand. I'm a real one. Kelly's a real one. Real streamer. When you get home, I don't even read your comment, correct? I'm so real. I'm going to paraphrase it and put it in my own words. When you get home, show us the animals. I'll take some up-close pictures of faces maybe at some point, but I don't want to be live streaming from my home too much. Not because of you, but because of you. Not you, but you. His lawyer was a district attorney. That's fucking awesome. Can we get that lawyer on retainer as well? The resolution is good enough for YouTube. The hue is quite orangish. I know. Well, that's just the Volvo. All right. I'm going to drive home now. My babies are adorable. I take absurd... People are going to think I have like a serious problem if they ever have to look through all the pictures. Because I take like 30 just to get the right shot. And then I don't erase it once I get the right shot. So I have like thousands of animal pictures. Thanks, Duff Nug. Make sure your animals have masks on so we can't do facial recognition. Smarter words were never spoken. Thank you. Thank you, everybody. Peace, love, hope, dope, solidarity. Big wins, big W's. Rowing up the river in a rough cut punt, not a punt cut rough, but a rough cut punt. I don't know if I did that right, but I made it up. Thanks, April. Safe everything to everybody. Thank you for being here with me on this journey. Good times. Yeah, I hope it's uneventful. This was not anticipated. I was just going to read. chat's over here, so I don't know what the fuck you guys have been looking at behind me this whole time. All right. Big W, please check out the second part of my Temu Dodge if you haven't. Temu Dodge had some words to say that I agree with. All right. Good way to go, Danny and DOA for not, and for Michael and Will, for everyone for not settling and not backing down and going forward with this. It's a big deal for everybody, and I think that all respect and credit is due for that. I'm gonna go check out. Well, I'll catch up on the YouTube internet's info tomorrow. I have things I have to go do. Big dubs all around. Big dubs, big love. Love, one dubs. All right, I'm done after this one, only because I respect you and I like it. How much cult could a culty cult of a, if a culty cult could cult? Go. It won't hang up. We're never hanging up. Love you all. Love to love you. Good night, everyone.